Today we're talking about some updates. Yes, got a lot of updates. Been a while since I've done one of these videos. A couple weeks ago, me and Scott Juarez, Crucible Props, did one kind of catching a few things up with the Bowcaster and the Leia. Got a couple more little things that I've got done and working on. I just want to share with you real quick. First of all, thanks Ian. Found me a nice little M40 Sherman tank scope here. Got that in. That'll probably end up on a kind of a custom build for somebody. Just want to mention that. Thank you very much. Also, if anybody out there finds vintage gear of any kind that you're not actually buying, you find discover it, yell at me. I might get it, so just to preserve it. I guess first thing we got to talk about is this big old thing, this replica sitting on my bench here. This is a Denix replica MG34 machine gun used by the Germans in World War II. And of course, you know, we know it as the DLT-19. And it's also used by the Death Troopers later. There's another variant of it. First thing I'm going to do here in the next day or so is actually do the A&H version of it, which if you've got Star Wars, not a lot of pictures of the thing to get any reference, and there's a couple pictures here in the Chronicles if you actually own one of these. Great book, hard to find. Also, I went online, like I think this is probably a Battlefront rendering, I don't know. It was on the RPF. And then the one out of the Chronicles there is really the only reference we got. But you can see on the barrel that they've cut some T-track. It's cut little angles on it, some slots, and looks like there's 2 or 3 on top and then some on the bottom that miss where the bipod goes back. And then the slots in the middle, they actually probably glue and they wired them on. So these T-tracks are going to go here and here. I'm actually going to do a build video, a progress video over the next few days to show kind of how I'm doing this. So, but I'm gonna have these kits probably ready in the next week or so. I got about 30 of these MG34s. They don't come to the country that often. They're kind of hard to get. So, but I'm going to go ahead and convert them to some DLT-19s. The other thing that's on there is this. Thank you, Chris, for sending me one of these. This is out of that turntable. You know, you see these pulleys all the time out of the turntable. They go on the Bowcaster, which I've got some of those parts here. I've actually started laying them out, but this little cone-shaped one actually glues onto the side of the grip frame right there. So I have that. I'll reproduce that for you. And probably the hardest part of this build is they've modified the breech area, where obviously this was a belt-fed machine gun and we're building a blaster. So I believe what they have done, even on the real one, and I actually have one of these that's demilled, it's very similar. I think you got to take this pin out, which I already had it's in there really tight. I had to knock it out with a punch, and then the top here comes off. And on the real one, this plate would go forward where they could put the belt in there and lock it down and go. But this is kind of fastened on the replica. But this little slide, little plate, I don't know what they call it, but I think they took that out because it doesn't show anywhere in the pictures. And then once you lock this back in place, you've got a nice squared area. And I think what they've done is they've cut something rectangular that I can tell I'll scale and covers this area and probably goes through to the other side and comes out here, which I'll get another picture of the other side here for you, have another video show. You know, that way it kind of tidies up everything. Not much to converting it. And then after this, it's pretty much painted. It looks like it's painted flat black and kind of weathered up. But there's not a lot of these all metal build replicas out there. So I figured I'd knock that out for you here in the next week or so, and you can see it. So, okay, that's where I'm at on it. Be more information on that here in the next few days. Let's see. Oh, let's do Leia. You see where I'm at on Leia. We've got the compensator and the barrel extension. Frames are done. You know, we're at this point. Well, actually this week we actually completed another major part to it, and that's the top slide. So look at that. It's starting to actually come together now. I don't have the barrel pressed all the way in, but you know, you can see it's got the slot for the little retainer. And once these are off the machine, then I can go to some of the other smaller parts, trigger hammer and such. It's getting really close. We're definitely getting closer than we were. And this was actually a pretty tough piece to machine. The actual part itself doesn't have any real complex machining on it, but these things here stick out so far. They want to rattle when you're trying to cut them loose. So that's pretty much was the holdup, was just figuring out how to fixture that and get that done. But this is a very cool little piece here, very intricate. So, and I've even, you know, this might not be popular nowadays, but these were made in Russia and had the logo, you know, made in Russia on the side of it. I may have these with and without, depending on however you feel, whatever. Let's see. Leia progress is good. DLT19. Oh, most of the knobs, you know, if you've been following, you'll see that, you know, on the Wookiee, on the bowcaster there, you know, we've got some of the pieces that have been completed, like the top sight, and we've got a lot of found parts too. A lot of these, oh boy, can't see that real well. It's gonna be hard to show. We've got the knobs off of the cameras, the turntable, the Imperial discs, you know, we're actually out of the turntables too. They're here. Let's see here. And even the old, I guess they call this a Zorky camera, which it's going to use that knob. It's actually right here. It uses the knob off the old Kodak here. It's right there. I always found this interesting how they combine those, but that's the knob that's right there. But it has the dial of the lower part off the Russian camera that's on the lower part here. So we're reproducing those and getting those all drilled out, so when you get the plates to go on the side of the bowcaster, they'll be pre-drilled and everything will be ready for you to just screw those down on. So hey, that's it. You know, it's kind of a quick down and dirty progress video, but I've been so busy here lately, I hadn't had time to really show a lot of stuff. So this gets you kind of caught up. And if you got any questions or, you know, got any suggestions, always, you know, just drop us a line. Hit the like button, follow us on Facebook, Blaster Factory. Field Marshal out.